I'm I'm a minute early. Okay. Welcome to Tarot for Our Times. And this is a live tarot for our times. And there are a few things I'm going to cover tonight. I'm hoping that some people will join me. I did make several postings on Facebook, but I will be start. Oh, I see. I have somebody. Somebody has come in to watch. So I will. So let's see. So I will be covering several topics tonight. Of course, the big one. Well, there are a couple of big ones. The biggest one was going to be the big announcement tonight until I heard of the missile strike in Poland. So that's the really big story. And basically, also where the Republican Party is going after the big wave didn't happen. And I do have to say, as an introduction to all of that, is that I knew that as I watched all the returns come in the past week, that the pundits on various stations from MSNBC, and I couldn't bring myself to watch Fox, and to the BBC, they all pretty much had egg on their face because the nothing turned out like they were saying it was going to. And yet most of my colleagues, we were pretty right about that. So I will address that a little bit, but later on tonight, we are going to have the big announcement made by Trump. I should be like one of my colleagues and say I can't even stand to say his name anymore and give him any energy. But at any rate, oh, I do have somebody. Somebody has come in. Okay, good. And I will be posting this afterwards. So many of his fellow Republicans have asked him not to make this announcement now, but I just can't believe them. Don't they know he does whatever he wants to do? So he's going to make the announcement, and I will do a quick read on how, why, and what the effect may be on that sort of thing. And kind of where it's coming from and maybe where it's going to be going. If I hope his lawyers have told him that this is not going to put a stop to any of the legal action against him. If they have told him it would make a difference, he's got some really lousy lawyers, I have to say that. So let's see, I'm going to shuffle these cards up and see what this is going to be all about. It should be pretty dramatic. I mean, we pretty much know that what he's going to do, but the whole thing is, what kind of outrageous stuff is he going to say? The election clearly said that conspiracy theories of fraudulent elections and that sort of thing just do not resonate with the American people. So let me see. I'm going to see here. What may be said tonight, and then I'll do a very quick read on what the effect may be. So I'm just about ready to. Okay, so where he is at now, which is a pretty scary thing to think of. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we've got the star, which is the card of manifestation. So that's telling me that he really believes that if he, like with other things in his life, if he really, really wishes to do this, then his dreams will all come true. So he's pretty much wishing on that star and figuring all the stuff he's done in the past. Something tells me he's going to make a very dramatic entrance. So the energy behind this is interesting. Regrets regrets of the past with the Five of Cups, and which is really interesting. Sadness and regret. I'm going to say this is coming on the energy of the very major disappointment that he had in like hardly any of his people being elected into office. And I would say, especially those secretaries of state who do certify elections, I don't think any of them got elected. So that's kind of like the end of the trying to not certifying elections fantasy that he had. Well, I'm telling you, this guy in here looks like him. I never noticed that before. This guy in the card looks like him. Well, that is pretty wild. You have a deck of cards for about 8 years, and you always see. So okay, so we've got these two. The energy, the star. He's wishing on the star, on the energy of the major disappointment. So I'm going to see what's underlying this whole nonsense of him. I'll use these little guys here, of him making this big announcement tonight. So let's see. From the past, we have the Ten of Pentacles. That is like his whole the whole family and the group of people that were with him. And this is in the past. They were with him. So I'm going to say that I get a sense that he is living under the illusion that may still exist from all the few people that ran his business and his family. So right now we are at, we've got the page of rods here. And this is pretty much him trying to get the message, a couple meanings here, trying to get to the message to the orange guy that maybe it's time for him to move on to something else, but I don't think he's listening. I'm also going to say that that's probably his very childish, his very childish nature of maybe if he screams, interesting, if he screams loud enough, it will come true. So we've got that going for him. So let's see what the future holds in his trying to manifest this. Is okay. Well, you can't make this stuff up. We've got the Two of Cups in reverse, which is saying this wish is no longer a match for him. In fact, trying to look at his, like from his, and this kind of goes with a reading I saw from Ellie from Australia earlier about how this is no longer the presidency no longer a match, and that he cannot get away with pulling all the stuff that he has, that because of being shielded. I would also say this is no longer a match between many of those who supported him and who are now leaving the sinking ship. And I will address that hypocrisy in a couple of moments. So that's pretty much underlying the his desire to do that. So I'm going to see. I shudder to think what is going to be maybe happening energetic. And I will say this is for entertainment purposes only. So the Hierophant in reverse, which is saying that he is in total rebellion among all established. This is very much of an established government, academic, religious sort of thing. It's all turned up on upside down now, and that he is going to really, I think he's going to really put on some show talking about how he doesn't need these institutions or the people that that have the power in them. So this is going to be a major thing. So I'm going to say this is pretty much in the presence of that. So energetically, we have got the King of Swords in reverse, which is going to say very nasty energy. He's probably going to get very nasty and verbally abusive because he has been really, really, really angry. I think that, first of all, with being from Pennsylvania, what didn't take too long for his two darling fascist boys, Oz and Mastrolini, to be defeated. So he's got those and other states. Then I'm going to say that the icing on the wedding cake he attended is probably, oh, hi, Rita, was probably the Senate going to the Democrats. So we're really, this guy, when he's in reverse, he can really be a take no prisoners kind of a person. So we do have the King of Swords in reverse. So that's probably going to be a demeanor of take no prisoners. So I want to do a little bit of hopes and fears for this reading tonight. And very interesting. We've got the Princess of Wands here. I do love this deck because they don't have just the male knights. They have princes and princesses. What this is saying to me in the hopes and fears category is that the women that he really thought he thinks he's God's gift to women, the women who were like drooling all over him, have probably turned on him. And most of the adversarial things going on legally, we have Letitia James, who got reelected as the Attorney General for New York. He's got a woman in Georgia. He's got Liz Cheney. That I think the main energy driving everything that's going wrong in his life is women, and it's pretty much turned on him. So I think he may be probably plus and I mean, I could go on and on and on, but I'm thinking he may do the old she's a pig blah 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 routine in between his election conspiracy theories. It's going to be totally incoherent. So let's see how he's going to see himself in this tonight. Ten of Swords in reverse. He's definitely going to play the victim card here and about how he's been so persecuted. But since it's in reverse, he's going to say, I'm getting over it and I'm getting ready to fight again. So that's what we've got here. He'll say, I'm healing and I'm ready to just move on. But I will tell you this a lot of times, and especially since I've been doing these readings and looking at my YouTube colleagues, the general message of Swords in reverse is basically lies. That's kind of an undercurrent. When they're upright there, it's about the truth in a lot of these cards. When they're in reverse, it's about lies. So it's the lie that he's telling himself and the rest of us of how he's going to go on. So we got that. So I'm going to see how is the rest of the country. I mean, not the ones that drank the Kool-Aid, but just Mr. and Mrs. Television viewer. How are they going to take that? See him in that the Hanged Man, which is saying he's stuck in the same place. It's just the same old that he has been regurgitating for the last 7 years. And so they're not going to see a transformed, candidate running. It's just like, it's the same old song and dance. So I will say, what will be the short-term future for this announcement? Queen of Cups. So I'm going to say that, yeah, this is kind of like the emotionally needy and manipulative sort of person. I'm going to be that. I'm going to say that is going to be him. I would say that that's probably going to be the big letdown after that. And I suspect it's like, nobody loves me and I am such a victim. So, we've got that big time energy going. So I'm going to take a conclusion of this now. So concluding now, we have, hey folks, do not make this stuff up. I really don't. We now have the star in reverse, which is saying no. What you think you are manifesting is false. It's negative. It just isn't going to happen. All of the stuff that you may have a few little bounce backs with that stupid base of yours that refuses to let go. So we started out these readings with the star upright in his thinking that he'll wish upon the star and it will come true. But the reality is that things just are not going to be going his way. And I will say, I do have to give him credit for this, is that he's had some pretty decent instincts as far as getting away with stuff. And I remember even back in the old, crooked real estate deals he did in New York that I was subjected to continuously on the news back in the day. All of that stuff he used to do to wiggle out of it, and the disastrous casinos in Atlantic City, that's not going to work for him. In fact, it will turn against him. And it really is, this card real in reverse really is a sign of mediocrity. So I would say, to conclude, things just are not going to be going his way. I think he looks at this as his big comeback. So I don't think things are going to be going his way. Now, as far as his fan club goes and all of these politicians that are throwing him under the bus, and I will do a reading on this, but while I'm shuffling the cards, I do have something to say about that. I think they feel that after seeing the election losses that they can go, oops, my bad, I'll throw them under the bus, and my constituents are going to love me again. And I would say there's another example in, just like they thought women were going to forget about the abortion thing, of misunderstanding and underestimating the people that voted in this past election. And that the rule of karma is that that's not going to be enough, that they're really going to pay a big price. Because there was an interesting thing that I saw today that said that, or was it yesterday, but that pretty much sums it up, is that it's not that he turned the Republican Party into something awful. It has been getting awful for years, and he just brought it up to the surface. And I can honestly say that it was really starting to come up like 12 years ago with the Tea Party and this sort of thing. And now it's like it's just the Tea Party on steroids. So he wasn't even a blip. I think in 2011 he started the chit chat about maybe running for president and that sort of thing. But this was all there. And I think the fact that these people are so short-sighted, and they feel that American people will forget about all the harm that he's done, is incredibly naive on their part. And, I would say, even if they get the House back, which is a big possibility, it's just not what they envisioned that it's going to be. It's going to be by a very tight margin, and there's going to be a lot of those Republicans there who have pretty much kept quiet, which isn't the greatest thing, but who at least didn't overtly support him, but they pretty much stayed out of the fray. And people like from Maine and that like those New England type Republicans who, have voted over the years with a lot of Democrats. They're just fiscally, the ones that are kind of like fiscally conservative, but socially liberal in a way. Like I'm thinking of Dukakis and those people that they're not going to be on board with defunding money to the Ukraine and opening impeachments and and stopping the and the debt ceiling and all that. That's a really be careful what you wish for. It's just like it isn't. They made all these plans that all this stuff was going to happen, and in fact, it might even be more to their detriment of gaining the House on this because I hadn't figured for that. I mean, even Kevin McCarthy, it's not too sure that he's going to make it as speaker either. So I do want to draw some. Okay, so what is next for the Republicans? So we have, this is weird. We have the Ace of Cups. So I'm going to say, usually this is a joyous card. I'm going to say that if they win the House, they will have that brief moment of joy. Very, very short-lived moment of joy. And I'm going to say with every little win they're getting, they're, full of hope and false hope and full of joy and celebrating it. But let me see, there's got to be an energy beneath it, which is often called the clarifier. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles, which is about the family money, the money in the party. So I'm going to say that with this could be coming, that they may be using this to do some fundraising. You take the advantage of using this for fundraising. But I would also say that, I'm going to switch off to this deck now, that this is not the whole picture. I'm going to see some underlying cards with this brief period of euphoria with every little thing they win. So let's see. We've got our good old 7 of Rods in reverse. That's telling me that there are too many other things they're coming up against, that they're really not going to be able, regardless of what happens, they really bit off more than they can chew, and they're not going to be able to hold back these forces that they have been yammering about for years. It's whether it's abortion or, campaign financing, all of this stuff. So let's see what we have here in the middle. Okay, so this is often about illness. I've seen this as like being overstretched, having illness, and kind of being forced into a little break, but without doing the soul searching that he does when this is upright. So I'm going to say that, and this is about defeat too. This is about defeat. So there's a lot of that in this. I think they're looking at this whole thing as a mixed blessing. But I'm also going to say they're not looking at the repercussions. Also that this could tell me if they do take the House, there could be some walking across the aisle, possibly some, deaths or retirements, that the lead will be so slim that they will be very much hanging on to this like by a thread. Okay, so then we have the Hierophant upright. So this tells me that in their institution, in the institution of government, they will be looking for a new leader. I don't think they found him. I do feel like that DeSantis thing is probably going to fizzle out. That In fact, I'm going to draw just one card on the DeSantis thing of being their new leader. So the King of Pentacles, which is often seen as Trump, is saying that no, he's not really the shadow of Trump. The money and all of that will be there. And let's see if I have one to kind of clarify this. And that what they'll do is they will go, they're instead of deciding policy, that sort of thing, they're going to go with whoever brings the money in. So that's probably going to be their downfall. So the future isn't whether they gain the House or they don't gain the House, and that would probably take a miracle. I keep thinking of the 1979 World Series with the Pirates against Baltimore, and they came. They were down. They were within one game of losing, and they came back and won the last 4 games. I'd like to keep that visual in mind, but I'm also very realistic too. So, and that they're still counting the ballots. They say they've been saying any minute all day. So at any rate, as I've said before, I have my other colleagues to be predicting the outcome of these races. So I pretty much, and some of them, they've been right for the most part, though they got Texas and Florida wrong. But at any rate, so the last thing I have not, of course, since I had to set all of this up, I have not seen the news. But this whole thing with the missile landing in the Poland and Russia kind of keeping quiet about it, it's like I'm trying to see if the cards are going to say if this is an accident or not, and if this is the like the Archbishop in Serbia in 1904. I'm not quite feeling that energy of that, that thing, that assassination that's started World War I, but I'm feeling a little bit Cuban Missile Crisis-esque right now, that this may be a close call. So just going to pick a few cards on that. I'm going to do the 3-card deal on that. So, okay. So as far as what I see here is Russia really, really, really holding on to what they've been saying, which is pretty much nothing. That they're really kind of holding tight on to that. And I'm also going to say they're pretty much holding tight on their money too, because they're kind of running out of decent bombs. They're buying a lot of crappy ones from Iran right now that are not very sophisticated. And I'm wondering if because of their penny pitching, it's possible that maybe they got one that misfired, but we don't know. So let's see. We have the Queen of Wands in reverse. Very, very, very strong and negative female energy. I would say that they're really at the point where they really need to give it up, but they're not. So she can be an incredibly destructive lady when she's in reverse. I'm going to say that their answer may be they're just going to keep trying to bomb the Ukraine, so the Ukrainian country. So let's see what our third one is. The conclusion is the alchemist or the magician, which is saying that they really are using all of their resources, but at the same time, I also want to say that in the meantime, I would say this is oh, hello. I would say this is more for NATO countries that I get a strong feeling that they are using anything. Oh, I'm not doing that kind of a reading now, but I will announce when I'm doing that kind of messages. So this is just about current events. So this is real. So I do feel like this is the NATO card. They really don't want to go to war. So they're going to use every other resource that they can. The sword is like, trying to think straight. The cup being steady is like, let's not panic. I would say the wand is the holding steady on the wand is it they're ready to go to attack if they need to, but they won't. I'm thinking that they're also looking at their finances about what they can do, what they can't. So the magician is saying that their resources kind of outshine whatever Russia has. So I feel like I need to pull like another couple of cards on this. But I would say that this is also telling me that the NATO countries do have that they really have it under control. They really have. They're not going to do anything rash or stupid. So they kind of clarify that is interesting with this Seven of Cups in reverse. This is telling me that not with Putin so much, but the Russian people, and I'd say the Russian people very, very high up are starting to lose any of the ones that had been supporting this. They're starting to lose the illusions of what's going on. I would say with sanctions and this and that, and their sons being yanked out of their flats to fight in this war and all this sort of thing, that I'm saying that there's discouragement and disillusionment. So that's one of them. And yep. I would say I don't know how this is going to play out, but I would say this is a very good concluding card, because this is saying that this really has Russia is about to hit rock bottom, and for some reason, this is a big part of it, and they do have a chance to recover, but they're going to have to do it without Putin. God, I hate to say that name too, but I would say that yep, and I would also say that with these swords come from some people that they thought they were their allies, like India, China, Iran, some of the others who may get very practical and don't want to be involved in a world war, or they're starting to see that there really is no advantage to that. So I would say, or they may be, I think with China is playing both ends against the middle, but has no problem with sticking in this, the knife in the back towards Russia and towards Putin. They may start seeing that there's nothing in it. It's not a moral thing. It's like they don't see any advantage in it for them to keep supporting Russia in any way. So there will be more knives in the back, especially if this is tied with Russia. So this is kind of interesting, because these are sort of parallel readings to the Republicans and Trump. So I would say that for now, that it looks as though the UN probably has enough resources to maybe hold Russia back, but without, they're going on to an attack, because nobody wants a major war starting in Europe. So that's the way it looks for now. So at any rate, everybody get your popcorn ready to see the big announcement tonight. And as I said, the cards are saying it's not what he's saying, pretty much how he's going to say it, and pretty much who he's going to go on the attack. Although it may be predictable, there could be sort of like a really interesting meltdown facet to this. So I think it'll be very interesting to see. So at any rate, I'm hoping to do another one of these soon because there is an awful lot happening. So I'm going to end this now, and let's see, and I will see you again soon. So if I can figure out how to end this, I will. Okay. Is that thing? So at any rate, everybody enjoy the show tonight. Oh, you are welcome. So let's see, how do I end this? Let's see if that works. Okay, let's see. Okay, no, that doesn't. I'm going to do this. Okay. Welcome to the live. Learn more. Okay. Okay, fuck. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Oh, maybe that's it here.